Hi. Sorry, a little bit of delay there. How's it going? Oh my goodness, my setup still looks like garbage. Oh, that's fine. It's good. Everything's fine. Yeah. Hi. How are you going? How are you? How are you? And why does it look so gloomy in my room? It really does. Also, I need to grab myself a cup of tea. So I might be back in 1 second while I put the kettle on, which I don't know how to say in German, otherwise I would have given that a go just now. All right, I'll be back. Okie dokie. Let's get things started. Okay. First of all, logging into Streamlabs because it seems like every time I stream, it has logged me out of Chatbox or Cloudbox or whatever it is. Cloudbot. Oh no, it's logged in, so hopefully everything should work. Wonderful. Wonderful. Cool. All right, so I guess we're gonna get started with a little bit of how you say video editing. I apologize, I've been at classes today and I've been talking to a lot of people, so my command of the English language is not the best today. However, I'm very excited because I'm going to be finishing off a video today, or at least doing as much of it as I can. So that makes me very happy. Because I like getting videos finished. How do I pop out chat? There we go. So that way I can keep an eye on it. That's nice. Then I go to game and I think, will that work? Okay, you can't see the thing that I can see. So I will change that to display capture, I guess. Display capture, yeah. Oh, that's tiny. And it's also in front of the frame, I think, is it? No, it's behind the frame. There we go. Oh, that is not to scale. Gosh, that's very unattractive. Oh, my life. Okay, well, why don't we, what if, all right, we go to display capture and then the display is actually display 2 and then we move that over here. Will it then be, okay, now it's way too big. Yeah, well, at least the resolution is slightly better. That'll do me, I think. Yeah, awesome. Cool. Well, let me get the Twitch chat over there. And also, I think my cup of tea has been made. So, I'll be back again. Okay, here I am back again. Alrighty, so just to, get my leg up on the chair, just to bring you up to scratch, it seems like what we've been doing so far is we have been, I can't talk very well. Oh, I've basically got all of the stuff, all the little cavies, the little cavi animatics in the background there. So they're all in. So what I'm going to be doing now is populating all of these markers with content that I need to put in. So that's what everyone is keeping me company for today. Keeping me company for, yeah, I think that makes sense. I don't know what's going on with my language abilities today. It's not a good language day for me, I think. Wait, what's happening there? There we go. All right, well, let's start by what I would normally do is just like color coordinate these things. So this one, I start with mentioning anything where I need to put text in. So the decolonization definition.
Decolonization, noun,
Can
the
you
action
hear
or process of
Let's see.
leaving it independent. Now, it's worth noting that even despite the need...
Okay, cool, so you can hear that, wonderful. So I'm guessing I'm going to have a screenshot there, so I don't need text. And then over here, I'm going to do an animatic. So animatics, I'm thinking I will make a different color. Let's make that yellow for animatic. So that is Jeremy Corbyn's Race and Faith Manifesto that I need to put in there. And then I need to put in some information about the third international decade for the eradication of colonialism. And then I'm going to put a screenshot of the dictionary definition for decolonization. I think, who's this? I said British person talking.
Well, we're no longer actively stealing from them, so that's a job well done, lads. Carry on, carry on.
Okay, yeah, I want to have an image of Winston Churchill there and make him talk like Morrissey in my previous video. Wait. Merriam-Webster. Oh, okay. These are Merriam-Webster dictionary definitions for the N word and the H word. I'm going to censor the N word, and I'm probably going to put a picture of a goose in front of the H word, because apparently we're not allowed to say that either. Even though in this video I'm going to be pointing out why that's silly. Online notes.
fact that two words with obviously very different socio-historical weight behind them, as shown by the additional notes in the online version for the N-word.
Okay, so I'm going to, that's also a screen cap, so no text so far. And then I think here is going to be...
the initial lines in the Wikipedia articles for each word, notably written entirely by volunteer contributors, are similarly misleading.
Okay, so Wikipedia we need here. This doesn't have a marker, what is it?
It tends to be these first one or two lines which are used to equate one word with another.
Oh, okay, it's still going to be the same thing. It says, "What ho, chaps, time to make some dosh." Okay, so that's an animatic as well. So that's going to be yellow. This just makes it easier for me to understand. Australia has a colony. What's that?
Australia, for instance, was made a colony of the United Kingdom when England went there and decided it was. Of course.
What should that be? That'll be an animatic too, I think. So I've got some animatics to make for this video, it seems. Colonization equals exploitation of land plus resources plus manpower.
Not just the extra territory, but also the resources and manpower that the nation has to offer. Colonized populations are often used specifically for the purpose of the colonizing nation achieving its goals of acquiring wealth and power through the exploitation of their native lands.
What was I going to put
It is
there?
about taking advantage of not just the extra territory, but also the resources and manpower that the nation has to offer. Colonized populations are often...
Sorry, it's not going in my brain, and I realize it's because I need caffeine. So I'm just going to grab my cup of tea. So I will be back in 1 second. Well, not 1 second, a little bit longer than 1 second. Alrighty, so here we are back again. Now let's listen to this sentence again and see if my brain can actually parse it this time. That would be nice.
Dominance over it. A large part of colonization is about taking advantage of not just the extra territory, but also the resources and manpower that the nation has to offer. Colonized populations are often used specifically for the purpose of the colonizing nation achieving its goals of acquiring wealth and power through the exploitation of their native lands.
I think that can probably be an animatic. Let's see how we go trying to visualize that. Okay, next one. African colonies, pre- and post-colonization. I think
it has colonized and in many cases changed the geographical boundaries for its own.
Okay, we need a map here. Map of African borders. Pre- and post-colonization. So that's going to be an image. Leaving behind wealth.
It leaves behind it a gaping hole of wealth and prosperity that could have been. People who could have lived. Intergroup conflict which could have been avoided. And leadership which could have been left unpoisoned by often culturally incompatible norms and ideals.
Let's go with an animatic for that one. And, excuse me, because the animatics always seem to go down well. But they could probably be summed up as well with like literature and, news articles. But we'll see. Okay, what a colonial rule to withered environment.
Years of colonial rule to both the environment and the society.
Sorry?
It needs to have the tools at its disposal to be able to pick itself back up and deal with the damage inflicted by the years of colonial rule to both the environment and the society.
Okay, I think that's going to be an animatic too. Then over here, example of nations and debts. So I'm going to have to do a bit of research online about colonies or former colonies which are now in debt. So like Democratic Republic of the Congo. I mean, basically most formerly colonized African countries, if not all of them, are suffering from ridiculously inhumane amounts of debt. So that should be easy enough to source. And then we've got the French colony tax. I need to find some evidence or information about the French colony tax. I want to have an image of strip-mined land, particularly if it's from France. I mean, former French colonies. Undoing?
Undoing plays an important role as payment for the alleged benefits that French colonization provided. The word undoing.
Okay. Undoing. That will either be text or, you know what? I'll start it out as text, which is I always use as pink, but then I've also got this hey there, Darkstar Mike 85, how's it going? We're making a video. So what was it? Undoing. Let's see what that looks like when it's all fancy. Oh, actually, what? Undoing. Go. 1 second. Yeah, no, that doesn't really work. Oh, if I put it in the middle. Undoing. Let's try that. Yeah, no, that's not very good. Let's try it like that. Hope your editing is going well and you're having fun. Yeah. It's nice to. I always like it when I have time to edit. It makes me happy. I like making videos, and I just wish I had more time to do it. Okay, so. Okay, we'll put that on the back burner for the time being and just keep going on. Okay, I need to source a bunch of racist tweets as well, which is gonna be not so fun to research, and I'm hoping that when we have more people active in the chat, you can all help me find horribly racist tweets about, like, specifically about colonization. I don't want people to give me tweets with people saying the N-word, for example. I just want to have tweets where people are saying, like, oh, colonization did more good than bad, you stupid bleh, or whatever. Galaxy brain. I want to have an image of a galaxy brain.
Those carried out on a broader, more systemic scale by a nation's government or macro solutions, and those which can...
Okay, so I think that's going to be text. There we go. And then macro solutions listing.
Beyond allowing a colonized nation its independence and autonomy, decolonization on a macro scale can include government action.
Okay. Hey there, John Louie. How's it going? Good to see you. Good to see you. So that's going to be text as well. Power, wealth, and resources.
So on and so forth. As you can see, most macro solutions tend to involve either conceding power, wealth, or resources to the colonized nation.
Okay, that's going to be text. Text is pretty easy to populate. Excuse me. List names?
There are more localized grassroots organizations like the Comité Boricua en la Diaspora in Puerto Rico and Banco Cran ASBL in Belgium, which...
Sorry, I just love how I do the Spanish accent for the Latin American thing, and then when it comes to the French, I'm just like, nah. I'm so disrespectful. Okay, why don't I just list? That's gonna be text, but I'm gonna actually, no, I'm going to source a bunch of logos for organizations, I think. We're going to do a bunch of research. Hello! Hey there, Panda Bibble. How's it going? Show other groups and news. Oh, okay, right. So this one, I guess, text and logo? Question mark. I hope those groups are still active, given that I started work on this video 2 years ago.
Regular fundraising efforts is even further on the mind.
Okay, I need images or screenshots from my previous. I'm very cross. Oh, reconnection successful. Okay, there we go. I'm sorry everyone about that. That was really annoying. Why is this my life now? Okay. I am back. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, so we need examples of imperialistic apologism. Wait, have I gone again? If I've gone again, I'm going to be very, very grumpy indeed. Still here? Okay, cool.
Required of us in this regard is to actively strive to learn about the more shameful aspects of our nation's history, which is often spun in a way to either make us look good or...
Okay, so that's like news articles. I need to find micro-scale decolonization.
Decolonization on a more micro scale?
Okay, so that's going to be text. Schools, museums.
Institutions such as schools and museums also play important roles.
I'll need images. I need to differentiate images, like actual images, from articles and research. Let me go back. Okay, Race and Faith Manifesto is going to be text. So, I mean, like, sourced from, like, an article or something rather than an image in itself. So I'm going to make that blue. Third International Decade, that's also going to be researched text. Decolonization definition is also going to be a screenshot. That's what blue will be, screenshot. British person talking is going to be an animatic.
Well, we're no longer actively stealing from them.
Wait, no, that's going to be a picture of Winston Churchill, so we'll leave that there. That's going to be a screenshot of dictionary definitions of the N-word and the H-word. And then this one is going to be some more online notes. This is going to be a screenshot of the Wikipedia articles for the same thing. Okay, so it's going to be, it seems like it's more like articles and screenshots and papers and things as opposed to like sourcing actual images this time. That one I'll need images for. Examples of nations and debts, I think, is probably going to be in the form of screenshots as well. French colony tax is probably going to be news articles. Strip mined land is an image. Racist tweets is going to involve a lot of research, and I'm going to enlist your help with that if any of you have the stomach for it. Galaxy brain is an image. List names, text and logo, so those will be images. Show other groups and news. I'm guessing it'll be a combination of screenshots and logos. I think previous charity streams is going to be images of probably the posters I made for them. Examples of imperialistic apologism will probably be news articles. Schools and museums will be an image of a school and an image of a museum. Museums of authority figures will be like excerpts from my papers, so that's screenshots. Okay, so now we've caught up. Before and after example of lobbying pressure of making a museum change things. So I'm thinking of the statues in that awful statue at the Natural History Museum in New York. I don't know if you're familiar, there's like this statue of Teddy Roosevelt, which is bleh. And I believe they're taking it away now, which makes me happy, as it should be. So, yeah, that will be screenshots of the news articles. That's going to be an animatic, the school your shit. Wait, decolonizing the mind, the more you know is probably going to be an image that I make. This is going to be an animatic of a school teacher telling a child that they are shit.
Of one's cultural value and identity through cultural activities such as festivals and promotion of one's cultural languages and music. There's increasing call for this to be promoted as a way of combating imperialism in the modern age.
Okay, so that's probably going to be like screenshots of articles, and that's going to be images of people doing festivals and stuff. Genealogy research, I will probably need to do. What's interesting is that, like, for a long time, I always associated genealogy research with racists who are trying to see how white they are, you know? Especially when I was trolling that white supremacist dating site. But yeah, apparently it also has a very legitimate sort of like precedence in people who were descended from slaves, because obviously the identities were stripped away from people when they were enslaved. They weren't allowed to pass on their culture, their language, or whatever to their children. So there's actually a large and growing industry of genealogy research for people descended from slaves to find out, like, what is the culture I should actually be, you know, proud of. I mean, alongside their identity as, you know, for example, African American, or, you know, a descendant from an African country. But it's, you know, you can't just say I'm from Africa. Africa's a very big continent. It's quite an interesting field, honestly. Anyway, so summary, I'm guessing this is text.
Colonization is more complex than one nation taking over another nation as a colony.
Yep, okay, so that's text. Oh, and we're at the end of the video, I think. No, there's still a little bit more. And we need to think of like an ending song as well. Papers and presentations is probably going to be screenshots of my papers and presentations to show how cool I am. Photos from around the world is going to be photos from around the world. Animatic pointing at head is something that I need to redraw. Okay, cool. So the stuff that's going to take the most work, this is going to be the credits over here. The stuff that's going to take the most work, I think, is going to be the stuff in blue, which is where I need to actually look up the articles that I'm going to be using. Like, this is essentially the literature of this video, which I'm not going to be using as literature. I'm going to be using it as a visual, even though I've, you know, I will have read the things. Isn't that fun? A little bit of an insight into my working brain. All right, so let's start from the start, then take it away. My name is Simpson Bartholomew J. That's Bart with an Art and a capital B, then Simp plus S-O-N. That's me. Decolonization. And I also need like a song or something. Oh my goodness.
H-O-N-K.
Thank you, The Menace, for resubscribing. 30 months. Goodness gracious. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. By the way, I think I figured out like a strategy that's going to make it a lot easier for me to finish off our last collaboration video. So that's probably going to be my next project to finish off after I finish off this one at the end of the week. So I'm excited about that because I was like putting it off for a while because of the fact that I was going to have to learn how to use Adobe After Effects. But I've since been told about a tool which does like text stuff really easily. So it means I don't have to learn anything. Because I'm a lazy arse. Doing a lot better these days. I'm really glad to hear that. Okay, Decolonization 101. What is like a sound thing? Like, I'm gonna need to look at, oh, this is gonna be fun actually. I'm gonna have to look through my my collection of music from, and like little links and yeah, stings, music stings, etc. from the previous bundles. So let me look up bundle. Oops, let me move it back here. Let's see if we can find 30-second haircuts. No, I want like songs and stuff. Oh, I'm gonna have to open what's it called? Itch. So I've gotten very distracted. I was saying just seconds ago, oh, you know what's going to take a long time? Sourcing the papers, the academic literature. And now I'm like, oh, but I want to find like a 5-second video, like audio thing. And now that's going to happen. For the racist / colonialism supporting tweets, are you looking for bigger accounts / I don't know why I said / public figures that have tweeted racist stuff, or just the general British public? That's a really good question. Let's open the part of my script where I talk about that. So the thing that I'm actually going to need racist tweets and shit. So the context here is me saying the word undoing plays an important part in the concept of successful decolonization. As I mentioned before, for decolonization to truly succeed, the damage caused by colonial and post-colonial policy must be mitigated. After all, if you've looted and pillaged a nation of its assets and wealth, you can't exactly expect it to compete with you in the modern global marketplace, can you? And people from colonizing nations wonder why formerly colonized nations struggle after they leave, concluding that they, the colonizers, just managed their wealth and resources better, choosing not to reflect upon where exactly that wealth and richness came from in the first place. Galaxy brain material right there. So essentially these specific racist tweets, like I wouldn't mind it being from, you know, bigger public figures. I think that probably helps my cause. But the specific context, I don't just want tweets of racism. I want you know, people from a colonizing nation, or like reflecting on the colonial regime that their nation is responsible for, or other, for example, Western nations, and basically saying that it's the you know, the colonized nations, you know, just had inherent problems, and that's why they're struggling today. You know, like saying that the colonizers did more good than bad. Reconnection successful. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. I'm very grumpy. Okay. Thank you, Panda Bibble. Oh, a roguelike deck building card game was installed. That's exciting. All right, so let's have a look down and see. Oh, Photoshop Real Pencils. I need to like start working through all these things. John Escape was installed. Oh, I need to stop installing these things. That's probably what's doing. Okay, let's pause those downloads because my German internet can't handle it apparently. I need like my old man sounds. Where's all the, oh, game assets. I think that's it. Dungeon game asset pack. Game icons cassette. A library of tape sounds. Oh, that's really cool. Sound effects. I need like music. Do I want JRPG music in my decolonization video? I think I'm gonna go for like mini loops. Okay, so I need to go back here and go down to mini loops. I remember it was like, wait, where is it? Oh, okay, yeah, it's alphabetical order, as you would expect. Wait. Let's have a listen to some of these, shall we? There's a whole bunch of them. Low growl. What about that music from that Pong style game? Yes! Oh my god, memories! That was such a fun stream. I feel like... Wait, what was that game? It was like Pong... Let's play it again, just briefly. Dual Pong, right? Okay, but I've paused the down... Do I have to like make it... All this just to prove a point? No, I don't want any of those. Can I... Little frog game? Murder at the Cat Show. Where's Jewel? Oh, Type Runner, yes. Jewel Pong. Wait, where's the stuff to down? Oh, here it is. Okay. Prioritize. Jewel Pong. Yes. Okay, let's resume downloads just for the purpose of Jewel Pong. And then we will play Jewel Pong. So sorry if the internet cuts out, but I'm sure it will be worth it. At least until we remember what the soundtrack sounded like. I think it's almost done. It says 2 seconds left, and it's said 2 seconds left for about 10 seconds. Still going. Still going. Started 1 minute ago. Well, this bodes well. Come on, German internet. You can do it. I believe in you. No? No, we're not going to? What's it called? I'll see if I can find it in here. Dual Pong. Jewel Pong. So it looks like double Pong. You know what? If I can find this, the music, the soundtrack, I should say, here. I don't know what I'm looking for. Managed. There's no sound file. I guess is it still downloading maybe? Or is like the song like generated randomly? It was Disk Sphere, okay. Well. Disk Sphere. How did you find that out? Well done. Let's look up. Disk Sphere, a sports. Yes! Oh, I remember that. MIDI file by any chance? Oh yeah, it's probably a MIDI file. Oh, I just got a telegram about my job. My job in this particular Telegram group, it's like a bad movie nights group, based in Berlin, and it's now been my assigned duty to post a Tommy Wiseau gif saying, anyway, how's your sex life? Every time someone joins, just to test them to see if they are, basically, if they leave after I post that, then it's a sign that they probably weren't cut out for the bad movie night group. So I basically just need to say, anyway, how's your sex life? Okay, it is installing Disk Sphere. Here we go. Can I access me? No. I need. Why does nothing have any music? Oh, 7 seconds left. Okay, it's still downloading stuff. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. It's been spending all this time on the MIDI file. Oh, okay, pause downloads. So that's finished. No, nothing. There's no file that I can access. That's annoying. Anyway, well, given that it's there, let's open the file. Oh my god, this is awful already. I mean, of course we gotta enter story mode. Let me know if this is way too loud, because I suspect it is. Press left. Up, down. Press through disk. Power disk. Through sphere. What? Okay, I'm just gonna press any button. Dodge roll campaign only. What? Oh, press enter to remap keys. Whoops. Ah! This wasn't it, was it? Stop! Oh my god, I'm so sorry. It's really loud. Okay, I've put it. Okay, enter.
It was the year 1145 AG, BC, XD, BC, DFG. Nobody knows, nobody cares. It's just a story, dang it. An evil wizard named the Hex Square used a time spell to summon metal beasts from another.
Yeah, it was more duty than ditty. Yeah, this sounds ditty, doesn't it?
From another realm. Isn't that a automatic? Shut up, this is my play, my
I don't remember this at all.
Charming Knight decided enough was enough and punch pow. Excuse me, this narration is going on a bit too long. Has anybody seen Hex Square? My spheres and discs are ready for anything, even wizards. Oh, Fauci.
No, I don't remember this at all. It was just duty, wasn't it? Well, let me go back to what was it? It was like view all. Let's go back to Pong. Oh, I have to install it again. No, it was anyway. No, I'm just getting distracted here. Let's go back to like the loops, mini loops. Og. Okay, let's listen to some of these. Oh, it's very loud. Is it loud for you too? It's not really a decolonization 101 thing, as cool as it is. Oh, glorp glorp. It's good on your end? Okay, wonderful. Okay, let's listen to glorp glorp. That's too happy. No, we need, oh, Pirate Party. That's too much of a party. Let's try Chill Zero. New Age Ghost? These are all too funky, you know? Bubblegum Pop. Yeah, that's not going to be good for Decolonization 101. Underground Crawl? Oh, Low Growl, maybe. Oh, that's the one that I listened to before. Let's try... Oh-ho! Okay, I can see why they call that one Oh-oh. Memory Lane? I mean, I bought all of the Menaces stuff on Bandcamp, so I could use that, so that way we can. The Menace. Do you? I mean, just out of curiosity, because I always prefer to promote people that I know, and I know that you also have a good ear for, like, you know, context and that kind of thing. It's all Creative Commons attribution. Ah, wonderful. So I basically need to have. It doesn't need to be this short. I can make it a little bit longer, but this is kind of the intro.
Finding a nice brief explanation of what decolonization.
Oh wait, let's.
Future videos. And while writing the scripts for those videos, I had trouble finding a nice brief explanation of what decolonization is to link you all. So I figured if you want something done right, you might have heard the term decolonization at some point.
So yeah, I just need something to go there. I don't need to be dancing. Like, it doesn't need to be dance music, but, you know, something that would be suitable. Like, you know, decolonization is a somber topic, but we do want it to be intriguing. Yeah, basically. I just want something to go in there. I don't know if you've got anything pre-made. I'm also happy to, like, go through all this stuff. Morning, expect us. That could work. Big maybe. I really like small loops, you know, like if I'd known this was a thing that you could do when I was younger, I'd probably be a composer now, because like my issue is that I can't commit, you know. I used to compose like really tiny little jingles essentially, and then I was like, well, there's no money in that. No point honing that skill, so just gave up on it. Maybe that works. Memory lane. Welcome to Watch Cav dance to music while sitting in their chair. I'm pretty sure there's literally a party happening right now that I'm not attending in favor of sitting here. Isn't there like a 5 second, or is it 10 second? 10-second jingles or something like that. Oh. Okay, no. I thought there was like 5-second loops. Game assets. Let's just keep scrolling down here. No, I don't want Pong. Dungeon game asset cassette. Tile pack. We've got sound effects. Platformer SFX. I mean, a sound effect might be good. I could even put like It's not really relevant, but you know, tonally, it's sort of like Decolonization 101, you know, game over, let's decolonize. What else have we got here? Oh, extension to connect Game Maker games to Twitch chat. That's awesome. A lot of these are like visual things. 8-bit sound effects. 100 plus sound. Yeah, maybe it's a sound effect I'm going for. I'm not sure. I'm not going to put an old man sound in. I'm just putting that out there now. I refuse. It's not appropriate here. You can't make me. It's not going to happen. You could probably do an entire paper on Mario within the context of diaspora and colonization. Yeah, I totally could, and maybe I will one day. Oh, old man character sound effects. The best. The best. I'm actually curious. I'm getting distracted again. I'm very aware. But I kind of want to go to that. Ooh, free chiptune music loops. Chiptune. Let's install that. 24 seamless chiptune loops to be used in all genres of games. Oh, someone doxed themselves. Apologies. Or, no, they didn't dox themselves. I doxed them. I apologize to that person. Well, hopefully they're not going to ask me on a date, because that'd be weird. Live on stream. Okay. Oh, whoops. I was coming here because I want to open the old man character sounds and I want to see if Eternity Games has made more. Oh, a folk horror LARP for 3 or more players? Okay, that is cool. Oh! I'm not enrolled in that course. Crypt Kickers. The tarot card storytelling game. Oh, this person makes great games! But like, I want to play these, but I also want the old man sounds. More. In order to, you must purchase it. I want to see what other sound effects you made. Did you delete it? You better not have deleted it. I'd be really pissed off if this person has stopped making old man sounds. I love that their most recent community post is in relation to the old man character sound effects. Do not trick or treat jam comments. If you want more if you want it to be kind of summer, then the segment from track 5 of the Juno album Rooftop Corner Sunrise Early Spring. If you want more intense, then from 647 in this song might be so. Okay, let's have a listen to this. Let's do some advertising. Okay, so how about music from a colony management game like Dwarf Fortress or RimWorld? Would I be allowed to do that? I mean, I guess I've used Donkey Kong music before, so it's probably fine. Oh. Let me, what was it? From 647. Let's try this. Oh, it's so lovely. Oh, I can't get 647, I'll have to be here. Yeah. Okay, yeah, no, I like that. That's telling me that's like, watch the video. It's really interesting. Oh, I just doxed my username. Email confirmation. Oh, God. What is email? I don't even know what email I'm using for that. That whole track has a range of emotions and no words. I mean, it sounds like it. Let me, confirm login. Yep, that was me. Log me in, ya shit. Okay. So, which track was it again? Let's go back there and hopefully it'll say that I've logged in. Yes, I have logged in. Okay, so have I got this album? I own this. So if I own it, wait. Now I don't know how to access it. While waiting, let's listen to this. Oh, I think this one? 4 and 7 now? It was from when I was banned from playing guitar and before I figured out I had some gender going on. So yeah, big emotions, no outlet. Yeah, understandable. All right, is it this one? 4 and 7 out Redux? Now I kind of want to use this song. No! No! He just got up to the Sea Ponies bit! There we go. Welcome to the Sea Ponies. Breathing. find? Oh, here. Four in, 7 out. Fourth in the top. Oh, yeah. 5 in, 3 hold, 7 out. Wonderful. Thank you. But now I'm just back here again. How do I download it? Oh, download? No. Streaming and download help? Yes, please. Let me give it. I don't know how this works. Circular breathing. Info? Now I'm back again. How does this work? Sorry, I'm getting very angry. Pretty sure you can download it from the album page if you haven't. It says I own it. And that's great, but like, could you just let me have it if I own it? I'm so cross. Save as. What page? Share embed? No, I want to bloody get the fucking streaming and download help. Help! Where do I download my purchase? I don't want the Bandcamp. Find your collection page. Okay, so let's go back there. Oh. But I don't want the whole album at the moment. I just want to get like the... Can I... Oh, select a track. What? Oh no, that's me saying why I love this track. I just want to download that track. Well, sure, I'm gonna download the whole album now. That's what's gonna happen. Well, excuse me. That's how grumpy I am. Okay, download. And is that gonna download it as like a zip file? Yeah, okay, cool. All right, well that wasn't so bad, was it? Okay, in the meantime, where are we? Sorry, that's my Discord. Okay, so that's being worked on right now. And then I wanna get like, not today colonizer to like zoom in here. Today I'm doing research, isn't it? Yeah, I'm doing research. That's like my main reason for doing this stream right now. So having said that, is it downloaded? Yes. Show in folder. And then we extract all. I can't open one of my, I can't close one of my windows at the moment, and there's someone smoking or something and it smells bad, so hold on. I can't close the fucking... Okay, that's not gonna work. I need like a weight against the damn window. I need to complain about that window. Okay, I'm just gonna have to breathe in fumes. Okay, I'm fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Sound effects: vomiting, smashing crockery, fighting a slinky. I'd love to do a radio play. Sort of only tangentially related, but wouldn't that be fun? Because you get to do all your own sound effects and stuff. I've always found the idea, like, I really want to do a dramatic podcast or something, like a radio play, but in podcast form. I think that'd be so, so cool. One day I will. Oh, I have a fun story. These streams are always so chaotic and I love it. I'm so glad you enjoy me struggling over my my window. Okay, let's bring, where is the menace? It was here, right? Okay, yes. Let's grab that little sample there, and then I can work with it.
You want something done right.
Sorry, I don't know when's a good time. I feel like I've gone into... I need to listen to the track so I can isolate where the actual start of the beat, start of the bar is. Okay, well you said 607, so I'm gonna start with 607, I think. 607, there. Okay, so that was just a little bit off. It is a very long cycle, yes, I did notice that. Okay.
Something done right.
Okay, so of course we want that to like to fade in, and I've never quite gotten the hang of exactly like how one does that in Premiere, so I do it like a really stupid way, and it should be quite embarrassing for me to do it live on stream, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I give zero shits. Effect controls, there we go. So I'm gonna put level here. You see, this is how Cav does levels in Premiere Pro. Let's see if this works. I'm not familiar with Premiere, but I like to do a low pass filter sweep instead of volume. Oh. Low pass filter sweep does not appear to be an option here, as far as I can tell.
You want something done right.
Do I want it to be louder or do I want it to be quieter? Probably quieter, given, you know, comparing that to that. So I'm going to call that music and auto match. There we go. Oh, it's tiny now.
Right. You might have heard the term decolonization.
Just cut off. Oh, jeez. Okay, sorry. For me, like one of the things that will always make me laugh, even though it's not particularly funny, is just when sounds like cut off really suddenly. You know, like they don't like fade or whatever. It's just like the sound is still going and then it just stops. That makes me laugh a lot. Let's try again. You're about a beat too late from where it's. That's what I thought. Oh. Thank you. I'm glad I've got the actual musician here to point this out to me. Let's see if that's better. Is that better?
You might have heard So I figured if you want something done right, you might have heard the term.
Yeah, my brain isn't really functioning, so I'm not really hearing beats at the moment. So you're gonna have to guide me with that. That is beat 3 of the bar you have landed on. Okay. Thank you. Let's see if I can... The thing is, because my short-term memory is so bad, I can't actually count 3 beats from where it was before.
Right.
I feel like that was like half a beat that I've gone forward from. So let's try... Better to overshoot, I would say.
Right. You might have heard the term decolonization at some point. Right.
It's like 4 crash hits if you land on beat 1. Ah, okay, thank you.
Right. Done right. Right.
Okay. So that, I think that's still 3, unless I'm hearing it wrong.
Want something done right. Right. Right.
I feel like that's like a little bit too much. Very familiar with this drum solo. I listened to it hundreds of times. I can imagine, like, this is very, very intricate stuff.
You want something done right.
How's that?
Right. Done right. You might have heard the term decolonization at some point before.
I just love the way that it stops. Oh god, I want a sweetie. That's pretty on it. I do the fade starting from there, going backwards so that it emerges. Yeah, that's what I'm sort of trying.
Done right. Done right. Want something done right. Done right. You want something done right. You might have heard the term decolonization at some point before. The concept has slowly been...
Okay, I'll work on the rest of that, but it's good to at least have the starting bit there. Cool. Thank you so much for providing that. I will credit that in my credits. Okay, so now it's the fun stuff. I mean, that was pretty fun as well. It's certainly an adventure through the itch bundle, which we didn't even end up using. And like 20 minutes trying to find the Doot Doot game. Didn't expect me stopping by the stream to result with my music and a video today. It's still rather unusual for my brain. I can imagine. Hope it didn't make you uncomfortable, but it's certainly going to be good for my video. And that's all that matters. Okay, so we need Jeremy Corbyn's Race and Faith Manifesto now. Jeremy Corbyn Race and Faith Manifesto. 2019 manifesto. I do not want to accept cookies, you shit. Okay, so there's a particular part of the manifesto. Create an emancipation educational trust. Oops, I keep spelling things wrong. What? How dare? Okay, I guess. Educational trust. Aha, okay. Oh no, it goes over the... This is the thing that I want, but it like goes over... Can I get like a Word document of that though? Jeremy Corbyn. You should totally advocate for the things that you do. Although having said that, you know, like I'm telling you to do that, but I never really promote my stuff. And then when I do, I feel bad. And then if I ask people to promote stuff and they don't, then it makes me feel extra bad just because of how much it takes me to ask. Okay, anyway. How am I going to present this? Maybe what I'll do is I will just paste the text and then cite the thing, because I don't see that looking good in my thing if I use that PDF. I'm gonna sneeze. Hold on, I'm gonna mute. Bless me. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, isn't it always the way? Like you tell other people, like, oh yeah, do all the stuff, and then you just don't do it yourself. Okay, so vertical center, align, vertical. Wait, why is it coming out of that box? Oh, and now it's not. It's odd. And why is it not selecting? Okay, it is selecting. I want that to be centered. Horizontal center. It's being a little weird. That's not okay. I'm pressing Control A and it's not Control A-ing, which is odd. What? No. And now what I want to do is I want to use that and I want to like, yeah, okay. What? Why is it not doing the things that I want it to do? I'm grumpy now. Well, let's try, let's say 10. What about 50? It's not doing anything. Do I need to like reset? I type it, and then when I click, then it does the thing that I did before. That's so weird. It's like one step behind. Fascinating, but in a really frustrating way. It makes me very cross. What the hell? Has anyone ever had this problem before? How do I... What? And I kind of want it to go, like, I want it to... No, I don't want it to go out in proportion. I want it to go out not in proportion. What? Oh my god, I'm so... You know what? I'm gonna save and quit because I don't know what's happening with Premiere right now. Shift and drag. Yeah, I tried shift and drag. Very odd. Alright, so that's loading up again. Decolonization 101. Oh, can I show you something really embarrassing? Okay, so I was involved on a project for my heritage course, and I was put in charge of making these videos like for a heritage site, so making a tourism product. So people will go around and then they'll like listen to the audio or whatever, and I had to make like these instructional videos. And I mean, I didn't want to do the voiceover, but as the only native English speaker, I was basically volunteered to do it. And I had to sound really enthusiastic, and it's really over the top. So I'm going to share it with you.
Here are the materials.
Oh, that's my professor. That's not me.
One of the main symbols of the fair was the Trilon and Perisphere. As we enter the Perisphere, we can look down and see Democracy, a model of a future city. The Trilon and Perisphere was adopted by Fletcher Jones as a symbol of progress and the aspirations of the company. We can
Yeah, like I'm so happy. Oh, this one's good. I had fun making this one.
Customers could bring their Fletcher Jones trousers, skirts, and other garments to Fletcher Jones's dry cleaning factories for low-cost professional cleaning and repair services. But what if you burn a hole in your partner's trousers while ironing?
She said,
And like originally, my idea was to make it like this. So I don't know why. I thought it would be funny, but then in the end I was like, no, that's just stupid.
But what if you burn a hole in your partner's trousers while ironing?
She sent them back to the factories, and indeed, the department stored old.
Sorry, okay, so back to this video. Decolonization 101. I just love the panic. I love working with sound effects. That's why I really want to do a radio play. Okay, so back to this. Let's see if it's gonna behave this time. No. Shift and drag. Shift and drag. No. Alt and drag. No. Control and drag. No. How do you get it so that it just does what you... You know what? I don't care anymore. Oh, because I need to source this as well. No, this... I'm grumpy. This isn't good. This is not a good shape. Effect controls, please. Position. Oh, horizontal scale? Uniform scale. Ah. Okay, so let's see how that goes. Horizontal scale. It's not quite what I had in mind. I just wanted to make the frame bigger. Create a polygon. I don't want to do that either. I literally just want that to be wider. And I don't know what... Very cross. Oh! Oh, that's a bit... You know what? I'm just gonna put it up like that, and I'm gonna make it orange, which means I need to work on it. So I'll iron this out off stream, because this is just annoying. And how do I cite this manifesto? Labour Party Race and Faith Manifesto 2019. Labour Party Race and Faith Manifesto 2019. Yes, the UK Labour Party. Or is that spelt differently? No, that's correct. Back before the plague. Okay, so I will fix both these things, because this is not good layout by any definition.
The pledge to create an emancipation educational.
Oh. Okay. What I can do here is open this. I'll make an image out of that. So I guess I'll make that a screenshot. Fit to pay. No! Ass. that'll do. Print screen, and then I open up Paint. I don't think they're the UK Labour Party though. A Scottish Labour is different. As in, you should probably say it's from the UK rather than any other Labour Party. I thought, yeah, actually that's a really good point. I thought that it would be apparent, like it will be apparent from what I'm saying and how I mentioned Jeremy Corbyn, but I think it's still important to have that there. Thank you for pointing that out. This is why I do these streams. Okay, so let me grab that. Crop, and we'll save that as D projects. Look at all my projects. Look at all my projects, actually. Look at all that. Look at all that stuff that's been in progress, you know, and that hasn't been finished yet. That's what we're up against here. I'll get through it though. I'm feeling, oh dear. Okay, so dictionary, honky, dictionary, N-word. Race, oh, apparently I downloaded the PDF of that. True sign of a progressive. All right, so let's put that in there, and then we will scale it to frame size and then make it a little bit bigger so that it's not like sticking out the edge. It's like there. I think that's basically centered.
In the world of politics, Jeremy Corbyn's manifesto for Labour during the 2019 election included a pledge to create an emancipation educational trust.
Yes, I will fix up that text because I don't know what's going on there, but it's horrid. But at least we've got that. That is very bright, isn't it? It's fine. It's good. Third International Decade for the Eradication of Colonialism. So let's find the Third International Decade for the Eradication of Colonialism. Yeah, we do have a fourth international decade. Is there like an actual document? I think that's the document. You got a list as well? It's a lot. Slowly getting back to things after burning out and focusing on gender for the last little while. Yeah, I can imagine. Burning out isn't fun, and gender stuff does take a lot of time to unpack. Still, it's good that you've been doing that, you know? Like, a lot of people just, you know, put it on the back burner and then burn out and then don't have a good time. Okay, let's... Maybe we can... print screen that. Like, so many people just don't bother going on a gender journey, even if they feel weird. They're just sort of like, nah, I don't want to be odd. I don't want my friends to make fun of me, so I'm just not going to reflect on myself. Third International Decade for Eradication of Colonialism. Thank you, United Nations. You gonna give any help in trying to eradicate colonialism by making countries forgive colonial debts? No? No. Okay, worth a shot. Oh, maybe I can do like a scroll. That would be cool. Do like a slow scroll. Yeah. Okay, we'll do that. do I do? Do I just copy, save as the page? No, I just get I'll get the document itself. Projects, decolonization media, third international decade, blah, blah, blah. And where is it? Okay, I cannot put a PDF in there, but I can save that page as I'm going to burp. I can save that page as an image file. So let's open that up. Trans people can do what they want, was my opinion. Just had to include myself in that. And I was away, doing my best to get healthcare despite the NHS's best efforts to deny that to us. Isn't that always the way? I mean, I have a lot of respect for the NHS as an ideal, but yeah. It can be difficult when the lack of funding ends up impacting on the actual things that it's meant to be helping with. Yes, I want to replace that, please. Thank you. Wait. Excuse me? Oh. There we go. Oh, okay. Is that gonna work? If I zoom it in, is that gonna be like a decent? Okay. Oh. Okay, so we're gonna do like a scroll here. Slow scroll. So okay, that'll do. I've sourced the material. That's what we're doing this stream. Waiting list is estimated to be 17 years long. Like, how does that even work? Like, you know, assuming that you're like a teenage kid and you realize that you're trans and need like puberty blockers and you have to wait until you're 30 to get puberty blockers? Seems a bit counterintuitive if you ask me.
Decolonization. Noun. The action or
okay, so I think I'll just use that as oh wait, which dictionary are we using?
Important to shaping our view of the world. Decolonization. Noun. The action or process of a state withdrawing from a former colony, leaving it independent. Now, it's worth noting that even despite the need of the dictionary to be concise...
Which dictionary am I using? Oh, let's look at my script. Wait, where is my script? Oh no, I've done that thing again where I have 200 tabs open. Okay, here we go. Can close the race manifesto. Oxford Dictionary, okay. Oxford Dictionary, decolonization. Oxford, Montalvo. Oxford Dictionary, decolonization. With trans healthcare, it's less funding getting in the way as usual, and more the governments have very carefully segmented trans healthcare off via a series of checks and balances that all default to denial of care on one end, and are deliberately refusing to have enough surgeons and other doctors to get waiting lists down on the other. Oh, geez, that's really messed up. Oh yeah, they basically want as few people to transition as possible, and it's frankly killing us. Understandable. On the other hand, and like this isn't related to medical care, which is, I would say, you know, that's more of the basic human rights sort of thing. But on a slightly different level, last week was it? Yeah, I think it was last week. There was a symposium, a heritage symposium. Is that it? Yeah. Show purposes. Whatever. Yeah, there was a queer heritage symposium that was run by the University of Leicester, and it was a 2-day symposium I wasn't sure what to expect because, I mean, while I've seen some really interesting research into queer heritage, including a really great book, which I'd recommend if you're interested in this kind of thing, called Queering the Museum. I went to this exhibition in Melbourne shortly before I came up to Germany, and it was bad. I mean, the thing that frustrated me about it especially was that I didn't enjoy myself there, and a bunch of queer people, particularly queer people of color, who had also been to the site, didn't really have a good time. But all of the media coverage of the exhibition, both by queer writers and non-queer writers, was like glowing and positive, and it was kind of like I sort of got the impression that, you know, we're so desperate for museums to do anything that we don't want to criticize anything that comes out of it, because anything is like, oh yes, they threw us a bone, yay, let's be grateful. But I'm not really into that. I don't know if that's something that's obvious about me, but I'm not really into baby steps. I kind of want it's not just a matter of something that I want. It's possible, you know, it's possible for things to change more radically than they are. Really possible, but a lot of it is our choices. Anyway, so I had a miserable time with that museum, and so I was curious about this queer heritage symposium at the University of Leicester, partially because, you know, like what are people saying about queer heritage right now, given that exhibition that I thought was shit was apparently the best. But also it's in the UK, which doesn't really have the best reputation for, I mean, at least in terms of the media representation and, you know, the authorized discourse, cultural discourse, tends to be hijacked by a lot of really loud, really ugly people. But it was really, really, really good. And I was so impressed at how much better they were and how much more organized. There were so many, I mean, they were mostly white, but so many trans presenters who are working in museums and actively sort of like working to, I guess, shift things from inside. But not only that, also while waiting for those changes to be made, they're creating things to help queer and trans people to basically have a good museum experience where they get some of those itches scratched without having to just be satisfied with that. It's kind of like an interim sort of thing. So I felt there was a lot of care that went into this, well, the work that the people are doing, but also the symposium itself, like to really represent things. So it was really, really refreshing to see, especially after, you know, every time you look at Twitter, UK Twitter, is just full of weird people. Hey there, Nug, how's it going? Luckily, the Labour Party will be in power soon. Will they? Oh, that's good to know. They also seem to be full of just transphobic ourselves. Oh, great. Oh, geez. They haven't expelled her when they've expelled so many anti-racists. Well, I think one of the issues that seems to be the case in the UK anyway is that somehow transphobia has become accepted or seen as a form of feminism. Which is interesting because in that sense, it actually does intersect with, you know, racial and ethnic struggles on a number of levels, including if you look at Islamophobia, the fact that so many horribly misogynistic men become feminist the moment Islam is involved, you know? I feel like I can see parallels there with the transphobia thing, you know? People are sort of like using, oh, okay, it's for women's rights as a way to hide behind a bigoted agenda, which is, I don't know, it's interesting to observe, but obviously it's not pleasant to experience. Anyway, so back to what we were doing. Just jumping into the weekend. Wonderful. I hope it's a pleasant jump. Was this the definition that I came up with? Let's see. The action or process of a state. Okay. This is a different dictionary to that, so I'm going to Geo Ramblings. So they've got that. Current dictionary definition is pretty inadequate in the context. Oh, someone else doing that. Thank you. Wonderful. I think I'm going to keep this source on me. They seem quite interesting. Who are they? Kit Marie Rackley. Oh, speaking of trans, they, she. Well, check out Kit Marie Rackley, because they seem to know their stuff about decolonization, or at least are critical of the same things as me. So I can't, you know, I haven't read their stuff and I can't say that they're 100% accurate, but they seem to have the right foundations for what they're doing. Cool. Am I writing an essay on decolonization? I mean, 2 years ago I wrote an essay about decolonization, and now I'm finally getting around to actually finishing off the video. It's really difficult. I have a lot of anxieties about content creation because, like, and I'm realizing more recently that it's related to my ADHD, in the sense that, you know, like, if I know that the thing that I've made is good, but I don't get the results that I want in terms of people seeing it, and this is like an algorithmic thing. It also depends on which people with large platforms share my work, which, you know, is not something that I can depend on. But yeah, I still get really sad when it's like I put all this work into something and then it doesn't get the attention that I personally feel like it deserves. So I'm trying really hard to separate that. Like, I always seem to get a good response from the people who do watch the videos, that's the thing that I should focus on. But for me, I'm kind of like, well, if 1,000 people see that video within a month, I'm happy. And I think that's probably always going to be my thing. But as you can see with my YouTube account at the moment, like the last few videos that I put a lot of work in, especially the one where I'm talking about trauma, are sort of lingering around 709. Which, you know, I shouldn't be grumpy about. You know, 709 is a really decent amount. But I have this standard, you know, and apparently it's an ADHD thing for people who have ADHD to sort of like feel rejection really easily, which apparently is something that affects me as well. Who could say? 1,000 people is huge. Would sell at the venues I play 5 times over. I know, but that's like seeing in one go, right? I want, you know, over the course of a month, you know, 1,000 people. I feel like, you know, you could do that. Okay, so I'm looking at the Oxford Dictionary definition, and if I've said that, and obviously I wrote this 2 years ago, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a special site that I can't advertise on here because it's a site that allows... Well, I'm not going to say what the site does. I certainly am not an advocate of people acquiring things for free, but having said that, just bear with me for a second, because I'm, you know, just having a lovely day, looking around at things online. And seeing if I can find somewhere the Oxford English Dictionary of the printed Oxford English Dictionary. Oxford Dictionary of English, Oxford. Okay, well, let's see if I can find it here and if I can find it there. You didn't hear anything from me. All I see is you watching cat videos on YouTube. I mean, yeah, exactly. Nothing you need to see at all. Okay, so let's see. The thing that I'm not currently downloading is gonna probably take a little while. So let's move on to the next one in the time being. So that's the Oxford English Dictionary of Decolonisation. So what we want here is, okay, so I'm gonna need, that's the Oxford Merriam-Webster dictionary definition of the N-word, which I'm not going to put on here on stream because I'm going to censor it in the actual video, and I do not want that word to be appearing on my stream. However, the H word is probably something that I can put in here. Why do things always come on so small? So, thank you, Merriam-Webster, for your dictionary definition of this horrible, abusive, racial slur. And I need to get a picture of a goose as well. Okay, goose versus duck. I would hate to see goose versus duck. The duck would get murdered. Okay, angry goose. Let's try angry goose. I would use Diana Jack's fantastic image that she made for me. Oh, this is a good one. Oh, look at the teeth on the tongue. It's so bad. Oh my god. Okay. Goose. Truly the demon of the bird world. Long have white people suffered under the yoke of this terrible word. I know. And this is why we talk about it here. And I need to censor it as well. Okay, so the best thing though is I'm only going to censor the big word, and I'm going to leave the rest of them up. See if anyone notices. Reports me for crimes. Sorry, a bit of a jump scare there. That's not funny though. Just out of curiosity, I'm gonna see what the emote looks like, because I think that would actually be funnier, and I might ask Dinah Jack for permission to use it. Let me see. Streaming emotes. Hee hee. Cringe. Where's Goose? Oh. There's a shortcut there. Nopathon 2019. When did the goose first start to be used? Curiouser and curiouser. Where is my Discord emotes maybe? No? Nope, there's no goose. Emotes. I can't find it. Oh, maybe it's here. Streams, emotes and icons. Okay, this seems like it's okay. Yeah, we've got little buns here. Yes, we have our little goose. Wunderbar. Okay, let's try this. So cute. Oh my god. Yes. What if the goose gets larger? Oh, I just love the thought of that. Okay, let's make the goose a little bit smaller again.
Versus the H word here. The same language is used to describe them.
Yeah, what do we think of that? Is that funny, or is it funnier if we just have the word and then maybe have a goose appear at some point? Probably have to sleep on it before I figure out what I want. I'll make that orange, so that I can think about it. Clear selected marker. The H and the Y being visible is great. Yeah, and not to mention like all these other that example. Now that's funny. Okay, I'll need to ask Diana Jack if I can use that image. Okay, so next up, what was that? Merriam-Webster Dictionary. Online notes. Okay, that's also involving the N-word and the such is my life. Okay, reconnection. I think it broke because you said honk fizzy bear. I can't say that that's not why it happened, because the moment I saw you saying honk, the stream disconnected. But welcome anyway. You are forgiven. I'm currently searching the Oxford Dictionary of English, which I acquired legally. For decolonization, which I probably could have just scrolled through to find. It would have been a lot quicker if I just scrolled through. Dittany. Okay, dependency, deft, dead man's fingers. This seems like it's not a very good dictionary. Like, I don't think it's got a lot of stuff. I mean, a lot of words. Deafen. Deal with it. Oh, I gotta show you something funny in a bit. I mean, there's lots of funny things. Okay, maybe it does have a lot of words. Okay, death cap, death match, death, lots of death, debilitating, deboss, debt, debus. Debus. Decalcomania. Well, decane. Yawned too hard. Too greedily and too deep. Decarburize. Deceitful. Dechristianize. Interesting. Decigram. Decision. Wouldn't it be funny if they didn't even have it here? Declassify. Décolletage. Okay. Decolonize? Decolonization. Okay. Well, let's compare this of a state, withdraw from a colony, leaving it independent. So, the action or process of a state withdrawing from a colony, leaving it independent. I mean, like, that's really what I want. So it's not in that version of the dictionary. So let me then extract the dictionary from a site which is not visible on here. There we go. What? It's a dict file. Oh, readme. This is the complete. Should be loaded in a compatible dictionary program. No. Get lost? Okay, that's not happening. All right, so I'll continue to skip that and do it later. Example of nations and debts. So that is for this section here. Debts. Debts? Okay, let's just listen.
Well, nations which were former colonies but are now technically independent, such as the Democratic Republic of Congo, are still working off huge debts that were enforced upon them by their colonial oppressors and continue to grow immensely with inflation, while at the same time struggling to re-establish themselves as autonomous nations and deal with the internal conflict resulting from the chaos of sudden colonial withdrawal. And there are other ongoing economic drains, such as the colonial tax that France demands from many of its former colonies to this very day as payment for the alleged benefits that French colonization provided. The word undoing.
I need to put more spaces in those things. I think I got a bit too like snip happy when I was editing the audio for this 2 years ago. All right, I'm going to just very sneakily log into a university library and look up post-colonial debt. And then hopefully we can find some examples besides the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Although, of course, we can look up that as well. Oh, don't... wants me to... I hate two-factor verification. Are you logging into Deacon Single Sign-On? Yes, I am. All right. Yeah. Okay, so now that we're in, we've got post-colonial archipelagos comparing the legacies of Spanish colonialism in Cuba, Puerto Rico, and the Philippines. Debt, ethics, the environment, and the economy. Post-colonial debt. Haiti, that's another example. Yes, okay. Debt relief. Okay, so this might also be good. Integration and trade. So West African. Europe's debt and migration crisis. Post-colonial Cameroon. Cameroon might be one. Politics of debt and Europe's relations with the South. Facing post-colonial domination. And that is based on... No, it's in French. Okay, so... going back to this, let's look up... What was it? There was a country. Haiti! Haiti post-colonial debt. And there's probably a bunch of news articles. The Democratic Republic of the Congo. King Leopold's Ghost. Oh, Ghost. I'm so sorry. It's so harrowing. Sweet God, did it remind me how much of Rhodes was. Yeah. Nasty stuff. The greatest heist in history. How Haiti was forced to pay... Wait, where is it? Reparations for freedom. Is NPR a reputable... What is NPR? NPR, wiki. National Public Radio. I mean, I've quoted them in a previous paper. But let's see if we can... I mean, like, that's an amazing headline. How colonial era debt, abcnews.go. Let's see if there's... I mean, I'm not going to source from Wikipedia, but I at least can see other keywords I need to be looking for. Hundreds of years after Haiti paid debt to be free from slavery, the cost is still being felt. PBS.org. How and why we calculated the value of Haiti's payments. Oh, just reading about this makes me so sad. Like, Haiti's just been really fucked over. I think it's a really good example of just, you know, like, it's one of those countries which, you know, it fought and won independence through bloodshed, you know, like, it counters so many of the stereotypes about, you know, like, passive slaves and things like that, which were really big at that time, you know, like, against everything that was thrown at them. And, like, then, yeah, it just... This is why I'm doing this. I'll need to keep in mind. Yes, I mentioned the colony tax in the next sentence, actually. Here we go.
Benefits.
Wait.
The colonial tax and there are other ongoing economic drains, such as the colonial tax that France demands from many of its former colonies to this very day as payment for the alleged benefits that French colonization provided. The word...
Yeah. They have several explicit colonies like French Guyana and that weird bit near Canada. We wanted to know how much Haiti had paid over generations, so we set out to. Oh, I don't even. Sorry, I'm actually getting a little bit teary. It just makes me so angry, you know, like when it a lot of the stuff that's been happening in with regards to like just settling in at university and things like that. A lot of people are really, really frustrated and angry and all that, and they keep asking me, how are you so calm and how are you so relaxed? And it's like, because I'm worrying about this garbage, you know, like this is injustice. I guess everything's relative, right? Indemnity. Quebec. The weird bit near Canada, Quebec. Okay, debt of developing countries. God, I hate the West. Okay, so does this seem like, if I were to quote from here, like it says it's a newsletter. And it looks kind of, I don't know, like, I have quoted from NPR before, but I just want to be quoting from reputable sources, unless maybe I can find an academic paper. But I think that for a YouTube video, having news articles is something that people can relate to more than academic papers, you know what I mean? Because they'll just say, oh, it's elitist academia or whatever, whereas news, even though, you know, that follows its own agenda, I feel like people respond to that better personally. The IMF is its own whole thing. There's also like an island near Newfoundland that is just part of France for some reason. Huh. There you go. PB, stop it, go away. I like it when videos provide full transcripts. Good on you. Okay, so this New York Times debt article, this one. Oh my god, and it was published this year? Let's see if there's a fun infographic. The lost, wait. Oh, I don't like this. Are the news articles accessible past their paywalls? I mean, so far this one is. I'm gonna look up Haiti debt and see. Sometimes they have access to like paywall things. Haiti Enhanced Initiative. A debt of dishonor. Empire, racial capitalism, and international law. Racial capitalism. How U.S. economic imperialism underdeveloped Haiti. The United States is among the colonizers, occupiers, and interventionists who bear historical responsibility for generations of Haitian suffering. Calls for reparations demand a hearing. Jewish refugees and the public of Haiti. Interesting. Teaching Haiti, strategies for creating new narratives. I might just read that out of interest. A double take on debt. Reparations, claims, and regimes of visibility in the politics of refusal. Oh god, I just wish I could read everything, you know? Odious debt is another word that's come up. Odious debt is a legal theory that says the national debt incurred by a despotic regime should not be enforceable. Such debts are thus considered by this doctrine to be personal debts of the regime that incurred them and not the debts of the state. In some respects, the concept is analogous to the invalidity of contracts signed under coercion. I mean, yeah. Okay, well okay. Assuming that this is fine, I'll keep looking, but we know that Haiti is one of those countries that still has post-colonial debt. We have the Congo, Democratic Republic of the Congo, yes. Post-colonial debt. The problem with this theory of odious debt is that it amounts to just defaulting anyway, but with extra steps. Huh. Okay. I know nothing about economics, so I'm sure that makes sense. Congo's odious debt, external... So are you saying that odious debt isn't a valid theory to be looking at when we're talking about, you know, trying to remove debts? Decolonizing the reading of history. How successful? Economic history, debt arrears. Aha, external economic exploitation in the DRC. Not shocked that the DRC had to pay such a debt. Yeah, it's like, I just the audacity, or as we might say, the caucasity of expecting the country that's been colonized to then pay for the privilege of having been colonized. You know, like, oh yay, you put money into some infrastructure that you designed for yourself in that area, and now it's like, now that you're gone, you want to be paid back? You want a refund? Ugh, so angry. I think the Philippines still has IMF debt from when the West was funding Marcos, who was buying weapons from us. Oh, so that's part of that. Although, I mean, that was post independence, right? Or I wish I knew more about the... Does the Philippines have post-colonial debt? The burden of colonial debt and indebtedness in second generation Filipino American families. Colonialism and debt of gratitude. But the thing is, I don't want papers. I want... Colonial debt refers to an internalized acceptance. Oh, that looks interesting. Okay, if I just look up post-colonial debt and see if there's any other ones. Rethinking sovereign debt. Let's see if there's any countries. I mean, I know lots of African countries did this, but I want to go all over the world. Debt crisis. Post-colonial finance. The debt colony. Imperial debt, colonial theft. Oh, post-colonial repair. Wait, imperial debt, colonial theft, post-colonial repair. That's intriguing. Chrome sure is eating well tonight. Oh, yeah. No wonder I keep disconnecting. Okay. And this is... I've got other things open as well, is the worst part. Let me just get rid of some of those. So I'll get rid of these. Oh, wait. I want this to stay. Goose teeth. Angry goose. I'll probably just close that. Them tabs are rookie numbers. Yeah, I've certainly done worse. Not gonna lie. And I've got a bunch of other things open as well, which probably doesn't help. Decolonization in Kenya. Okay, well, let's... Debt of developing countries. Is there like a list? And then we can look at... we can compare. Oh, what a surprise. Bunch of African countries are heavily indebted poor countries. So frustrating. Okay, let's try Nicaragua. South America. I mean, like, I know that there's a lot of debt that, you know, for example, Argentina owes to the US. Debt peonage. Foreign debt. No, maybe like all I really need is just like a few examples to like sprinkle here, you know? Like just news articles to come up. I have 35 open in one window, 34 in another. Oof. Well done. I also vaguely remember learning about the use of Western aid and development schemes that were basically an excuse for Western countries to influence policy in former colonies and enrich themselves. Yeah, that's quite interesting because it's something that's being used. I mean, like, you know how China is doing a lot of development projects in African countries now, and the West is getting grumpy about it, and a lot of Western people are saying, "Oh, it's imperialism and things like that." And it's like, yes, yes, it is. And a lot of African countries are saying, like, yes, we understand that it is, but we would rather, you know, like get development, you know, projects or whatever by China than to be more in debt with the countries that have already indebted us so much. Like, goes without saying. Like, oh my god, like, ugh. I need to also look up. There's that book that was free a while back, how Europe underdeveloped Africa. So maybe I've got to do. I'll do a little bit more research with this. The example of nations and debts. The French colony tax. Let's see if we can get like some really good articles on that. French colony tax. What is a French colonial tax? But let's have that tax justice. .net. What is the tax justice network? Black Lives Shattered. Oh wow, that's a powerful title. They don't pay taxes. They just the French colonial fiscal system, taxation of African states, the weight of the colonial heritage. After independence. Okay, let's read a little bit more. Like my understanding is that it's not explicitly called a colonial tax, but it kind of amounts to that. Oh god. Countries still paying colonial tax. I just need news articles from, like, you know, the New York Times or the newspapers that people, you know, listen to. If I look up news, I guess. French colonial tax. The reason why the West dislikes China giving aid to Africa is that if an African state stops paying debts to Europe or the US, it won't matter as much because China will still trade with them. Yep. Serves us right, honestly. Taxation, okay. The Guardian. How coastal West Africa doesn't say anything about tax. The Russian Wagner Group is exploiting African resources to finance wars. Retiring in the US? What's that got to do with it? I feel like a misleading heuristic for understanding Franc-Afrique. Will Francis Africa This seems like it's going to involve some further research because I know it's essentially a colony tax, even though it's not called that, and it's a little bit more complex than just a tax on colonies. But yeah, my understanding after having done reading before and then forgotten about it was that it's still bad and it's essentially a colony tax. So let's just skip that for the time being, come back to it. So strange that there don't seem to be so many Western news sources covering this stuff. I know, right? I'm sure there's a lot of Francophone literature about this, but because I don't speak French and I refuse to speak French, I'm not going to have much luck there. Okay, so moving on. French colony tax, racist tweets. Okay, this is where you, the audience, comes in. Something that I'm looking for is... I need to source some tweets, or not just tweets, but opinion pieces and things like that from ignorant people who were sort of like making the argument that the underdevelopment of certain countries is their own fault. Like, it's because they have their own sort of like local problems that are caused by themselves and not by the West, and that they were doing much better under colonial rule, that sort of thing. Oh, here we go. Thank you, John Louis. The Devil's Latin. Douglas Murray is an arsehole author and historian who defends colonialism and racism, hates work stuff, etc. Writes articles for the New York Post, The Times, The Spectator, goes on Fox News, etc. I don't know if you'd want to include tweets from him, but even if not, there are plenty of people agreeing with the type of thing you're looking for in response to his tweets. That's a very good point. Like, even if we can just find a few like big tweets, we can find in the responses other things. And yes, that's cherry picking, but I'm not, you know, like, I'm not making a point that I'm just using it to illustrate examples of people from colonizing nations wondering why formerly colonized nations struggle after they leave. If it weren't for the British, then Africa would be simply centuries ahead on all LGBTQIA+. He seems like he's great fun at parties. This is from August this year. Why are there people like this now? I don't get it, you know? Like, I just wish that it was uncool. You know, like, people are being willfully ignorant about these issues, and that's not reflecting back on them as this person is foolish and, you know, is being irrational and hysteric and acting on, you know, like, their own prejudices and things like that. Like, this person is intellectually obtuse, you know, like, deliberately missing the point. And it's like, it's bad, you know, like, it's bad. Boom, boom, boom. Oh yeah, we're back. Welcome back. You have walked into me trying to find some racist tweets, essentially. And I've also I may be able to find a dictionary definition of decolonization that I'm after. Bear with me for a sec. I found a text version. Decoration, decompression, decompose. Nope, decolonization is not on here. Apparently that's not a thing in this version of the dictionary. Okay, that's fine, we can close that. Why do you think Italian espresso became a thing? Colonial exports, baby. Yeah, so we're trying to find some tweets from intellectually obtuse, as I will call them, people making ridiculous comments about how colonies should be happy to have been colonized, and that the West knows best, even though, like, that's the thing, it's like, it's not worth arguing with those people, because if you're deliberately going out of your way to not understand something, then explaining it to them is not going to make them understand it, because they've already made up their mind that, you know, that they're right. it's something I find really frustrating. Like, I don't mind having these conversations with people if they genuinely are A, like approaching the conversation in good faith, and B, the kind of person who will accept when someone knows more than them about a particular topic, you know, which isn't to say that that person is, I mean, that, you know, if I'm telling them something that I'm inherently more clever than them, that's not how that works. It's just like with this particular topic, through a combination of like lived experience and research interest, I'm approaching this conversation from a different level, or a more complex level than they are. I just, you'd be surprised how rare that is. The conclusion is where you stop thinking. They have concluded, they will not think further. Exactly. There'll be no shortage of people supporting British colonialism from around the time of the Queen's death. Very true. This could not have come at a better time in some ways. Even people like, what I found really funny was like a bunch of US reactionary conservatives also talking about the Queen in a positive way, because, like, you know, they're racist, and, you know, the Queen is like the symbol of racism and white supremacy to a certain degree, but they're also American. So, you know, like, how can you be a proud red-blooded American and also pro-monarchy? You know what I mean? It doesn't really work. Queen's dead, LMAO. Sorry, just going back through the chat. Hey there, Just Derek, how's it going? I think they might be not understanding on purpose, so that they either don't have to change or so that they can keep a narrative going, like especially when the person has a big audience. I think it's a combination of both. It's easier if everything makes sense to you and you've concluded, you know, based on your own knowledge and things like that. It's so much easier when the world can be condensed into a nice little package, which is one reason why I really want to, with my YouTube videos, bring more nuance to these discussions, because it's like, you're not going to be able to be happy in the world if you don't acknowledge the nuance in the world, because things aren't going to make, like, at some point something isn't going to make sense, and that's going to make you angry. Like, for example, the fact that biology, you know, like, you can't determine gender through chromosomes, things like that, you know, like, this is nuanced stuff. It's not the stuff that we learned in kindergarten, but because it's nuanced and because it's subtle, it makes people angry, because it's like, but I don't want to have to think about this kind of stuff. I want things to make sense to me immediately. And so you're just inevitably going to be angry and sad and confused, which makes you defensive and lash out and things like that. So my aim with YouTube videos is to basically promote nuance being the default state of being. But yes, the Queen is dead. Hey there, More Diner. My experience with right-wing people is that their opinion on a subject is whatever they were first told on it, and refuse to ever even entertain the possibility that they were lied to or even merely misinformed. I mean, even non-right-wing people, even people like, you know, there are a few friends that I have now here in Germany from various parts of the world, and, you know, they would probably consider themselves to be progressive or more liberal-minded, and yet they sort of adapt those positions where the thing that they researched is obviously the informed one, the rational one, the correct one. And it's much more difficult to try to explain to them things from a perspective that they've not encountered before, you know, especially when it comes to, I mean, pretty much everyone I'm referring to in this context are white people when I'm talking about race or decolonization or things like that. You know, taking a heritage course and being like interested in decolonization, I'm going to talk about it a lot in class. And so I encounter a lot of people who are white who have not really thought about this kind of stuff. And, you know, like, all the non-white people seem to know where I'm coming from and don't seem to have any trouble processing. It's only really the white people who sort of struggle, I guess, to deal with the fact that, you know, there's some stuff that they don't
know, or something that they don't experience or haven't experienced, and that other people do. Oh, yeah. It's supposed to be the one last thing that unites us. Monarchy is bad, but I guess not anymore. Yeah, like even people, even like conservative pundits in the US are pro-monarchy now, which I just find hilarious. Like, how do you reconcile that? Obviously, they make a conscientious choice not to. It's, one could say, blissful. I'm assuming you're talking about nuance. I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well. I've been really enjoying watching your photography projects on the Twitch/Patreon, subscriber/Patreon Discord servers. It's especially the black and white ones. Those were really cool. It's basic biology. Yeah, welcome to advanced biology, right? Like, basic biology is basic for a reason. It's like being told that Santa is real. You know, like at some point, you need to learn, okay, it's more complicated than you know, an old man who comes down into your chimney and like leaves presents and things. Obviously, that doesn't make sense. Sorry for anyone here who has just had that bubble popped there. DW__R, hello. Ignoring nuance gives people the illusion of control. Yeah, that's the thing, but it's also the problem, because you're only in control until you're not, you know? Because it's not real, it's not realistic, that's not how the world works, and it can't be. It's impossible for a world such as that which we live in to not have nuance. So at some point, something is going to happen which will make them angry. And like, who wants to be angry all the time? Certainly not me. That's why I play video games on Twitch. Cav's campaign for agnosis. I will support you in this. Is agnosis like the promotion of nuance? I've not heard that term before. Hemlom. Hemlom, Hazardius. Sorry, I'm really behind in the chat. Something that seems to happen to some conservatives is that, sorry, we've just had like a really boring Google thing open. Let's put something more interesting up while we're having this chat. Let's put, there we go. Something that seems to happen to some conservatives is that they can only care about something if they are personally affected. If they're white, then anything bad that happens to other types of people just doesn't seem to be able to register. But the Daily Mail, who are a racist piece of shit newspaper, were able to take the Stephen Lawrence killing seriously because the editor's plumber was the dead kid's dad, so it affected him enough to care. Oh. I wasn't familiar with the Stephen Lawrence, with a Stephen Lawrence killing. Maybe, when was this? Was this a recent thing? My memory is very, very bad, and a lot of people, unfortunately, children are murdered more often than we would like. I mean, not that there's any amount of murdered kids that we would like, of course. I'm not advocating for murdering any number of kids, just to make that clear. Yeah, I mean, like, again, I sort of hesitate from conceding that it's a conservative only thing, because like too often, you know, like there's that Martin Luther King letter from Birmingham jail that I've quoted in one of my videos in the past, you know, like about complaining about the white moderate, because like the fact is, it's not just conservatives who you need to worry about. It's basically anyone who doesn't share your experience. Not that you need to be inherently suspicious of them, but it's more likely that there's going to be some kind of disconnect there, unless they're the kind of person who really actively strives to be empathetic and who looks up this kind of stuff, or who has encountered people like you before. There's going to be slip-ups, and I think it takes us, you need to be in a certain mindset to be able to process and take on new information about things that you don't understand. Like,
I have a friend who's a white woman who's really into feminism and also ADHD activism. So like neurodiversity, sort of advocating for, I guess, better outcomes for neurodivergent people. But she really struggles with the race stuff. And, like there are so many parallels. For one thing, there are non-white neurodivergent people, there are non-white women, surprise, surprise. But also there's so many parallels you can see in terms of like the human rights struggles that have been faced by women, by non-white women, by neurodivergent women. I'm grumpy now. Okay, we're back. Hey, welcome back, everyone, to my speed run of this YouTube video. Sorry, I'm just going back to reading the chat. Agnosis as an agnostic. Right. Okay, I thought that might be the case. Fully without knowledge, or I don't know. It's not even about I don't know. I think that nuance is knowable, like I think that it's possible to have an understanding of nuance. I don't think that nuance is as difficult as everyone makes it out to be, as long as you accept that things are complex. And yeah, there is an element of understanding the things that you don't know, and accepting the things that you don't know. But I think it's not impossible to know things. And I don't think it's impossible to understand the world either. So kind of agnostic about things, but only from a certain perspective. Agnotology, the branch of philosophy that deals with ignorance. I got a book. I found out that there's a field of study called ignorance studies recently, and so I've downloaded a book because, well, I haven't downloaded a book. I have acquired a book because one article is specifically about white ignorance. And I was just like, oh wow, okay, we're really gonna write about that in an academic text. That's cool. Liberalism is also a conservative ideology. Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, but I mean, I think even progressive people, I don't really necessarily feel safe in a lot of progressive circles because there's a lot of blinkers, which to a degree, you can't care about all the things all the time, so I can accept that, but, it doesn't make me feel safe, if that makes sense. Everyone's always got learning to do. That's exactly right. Okay, I'll be back. Thank you for understanding that I will always be back. Just seems to be a German internet thing here. Yeah. I am back, indeed. Okay, and I've caught up with the chat, finally. So, there's a reason I hang out with cis people a lot less these days, yeah. I mean, honestly, me doing this course has involved hanging out with more white people. Like, I had started to sort of, like, hang out less with white people, because I discovered that it was just really cozy. But, I always like to, I'm not trying to put myself into a social bubble. If I'm feeling safe, then, I'll go out. But, yeah, I have sort of realized that getting close to white people does open you up to certain lines of questioning which are not always comfortable, like what I was telling you about before, like people who are ostensibly progressive who are a little bit blinkered on or ignorant on some racial issues and don't realize it. That's sort of the issue. It's not just being ignorant. Being ignorant is fine. I think lots of people don't know lots of things, but like being ignorant of the fact that you don't know those things and not accepting that someone else might know a little bit more is really frustrating to me. Pooh, yes indeed. Cav the Terminator P. Oh, speaking of which, so I actually went to an exhibition with one of the people in chat, actually, not at the moment, but Bernan Blute in Space, who lives in Germany. We went out to a thing. I don't even know Bernan Blute in Space is not actually relevant to this story, but it was really fun meeting up and hanging out. So I thought I'd mention it. but I had to sign up for a ticket in advance because of COVID regulations for this museum. And for the gender options, like it made you put in a title. And so there was Frau, which is, woman. There's Herr, which is Mr. And then there was diverse. So I was like, I guess I'm gonna put diverse and see what happens. Like, and then they wrote my name as Diverse P. Like Mr. Blah Blah. My name was Diverse P. Be programming, titles in and think that, that works. And did they not think it through to the end? So I'm like, Diverse P. I don't like that I feel the need to retreat from cis spaces sometimes, but I also like not having to explain my body. Yeah, that's completely in. It's completely valid, especially if you're in a vulnerable place and find yourself hanging out more with non-cis people during that time, or even retreating completely into that. That's completely valid. Like, everyone needs time to heal. You need to, there's an element of armor that you need. I think the issue is more about relying on things like that as a crutch. And that's only because, in order to sort of exist in society, at some point you will need to go outside, you know what I mean? You will need to encounter these people. So I think to a certain degree, there's some resilience that's required, but that you don't need to be resilient all the time by any means. So yeah, I understand the feeling. I also feel like sometimes maybe I'm just, hiding from the world or whatever, but sometimes you need that. And I feel like it's important for us not to be ashamed of that, so long as it's not a crutch that ends up causing us more harm than good in the end, if you know what I mean. It's not because you need to expose yourself to other perspectives all the time. That's forcing, vulnerable people into spaces with their oppressors, that's not fair. That's not really how this works. But at the same time, it's just about being able to function, and exist within this society that we happen to find ourselves in, if people are feeling in a good place to do so. Yeah, that's my take anyway. Probably other people might feel differently, but I don't really think that it's if you were living in a perfect world and you were a part of a marginalized demographic and were able to just spend all your time within that marginalized demographic, live, work, thrive, whatever, I don't really see a problem with that. It's more about the fact that we're not in that space. Unfortunately, we're not in a space where you will be able to live, thrive, eat, drink, whatever with only people of a certain demographic. So it's just important to to be able to function in those settings. Oh,
hey, Big Smackin', what's crackalakin'?
I don't even understand that. Hey there, RHDC95. Hope you're doing well. Programs and titles, I run into that shit all the time. Yeah, Diverse P. Thank you so much for subscribing, RHDC95. I hope you're doing well. I pretty much have the actual identity I tell other trans people about, and then the 90% they're real simple one I tell cis people. Right, yeah. Which is also fine. I don't really talk about being non-binary to people I meet, because for me, gender is a really private thing, and I don't really I don't care enough about, if someone knows my gender, it's either because I'm on a public platform like this, and it's something that, I am proud of it. I'm not going to hide who I am. And I have a wall here between people. No one, if people are talking back at me, it's in the text. I'm not having a full-on shouting match with someone who's trying to tell me that they doesn't work as a singular pronoun or whatever. You know what I mean? Whereas like in my everyday life, I don't tend to care enough about the people around me, and maybe that's a little bit mean. It's not me being a misanthrope or anything. It's just I don't have that intimacy with those people, and my gender is something that, you know, most people will probably figure out if they know me for a certain length of time anyway. Like I think it's pretty obvious personally in just the way that I carry myself. But yeah, completely understand having like, you know, the shell self that you present to other people. It's not hiding, and it's not being not proud of who you are. I get really annoyed about this idea that everyone needs to be out and proud and all that. Like it's different for different people. There's definitely a need for more like public figures. Like another reason why when I'm on Twitch, I still don't really talk about it too much, but when it comes up, I'll talk about being non-binary because I think it's important for other people to know that people like you exist. But yeah, I completely lost track of what I was saying. Oh yeah. I don't really agree with the idea that everyone, like, it's a very Western thing as well. I think this Western concept of pride, which means that you need to when you introduce yourself, you let them. I mean, if that's something that you prefer to do, that's fine. But I'm just saying that like it's not for everyone, and if they don't want to do that, it doesn't mean they're not proud of who they are, or that they're ashamed, or that they're not actually out. Like, I'm living every day as a non-binary person. If people don't see that, that's their problem. You know what I mean? That's the way that I look at it anyway. And maybe it's a little bit easier for me because I'm not adhering to any kind of a binary. I don't have pressure. I mean, the only pressure that I have to present a certain way is when people think that I'm a particular gender. But I don't really give a shit about that. Diverse menace. It's self-protection from having to deal with our cis bullshit. Exactly. It's self-protection, but it doesn't mean you're ashamed. You know, like it's not like interlinked and inseparable. And I get really annoyed when there's this idea that there's only one way to be out and proud. Like, I'm out. I'm not hiding who I am. I just am, and I just don't think it's anyone's business to, you know, like, to always know. Because I don't know them. I don't ask them about their gender. I don't expect them to ask me about mine. And we just go on treating each other like human beings who are acting in a certain way. I don't really think gender has much to do with who someone, I mean, it does have a certain degree of who someone is. But you know what I mean? Like, you're just interacting with individuals as individuals. You're not interacting with someone as a woman or as a man or whatever. Like, or at least that's not what you're going out of your way to do. What their gender identity is, you know, is relevant to a certain degree. But, and you possibly, you know, if you're like a cis woman and you're interacting with a cis man, you're more likely to have certain ideas about, you know, how badly things can go. But you know what I mean? Like, men aren't inherently a certain way in terms of their behavior. I'm just going on a big rant, and I'm not working on my video, which is worrying because I want to get it out by Monday. Whoops. There's also the people probably just want to get on with their lives rather than be known as the insert minority demographic here. Exactly. Especially like in my heritage course as well. Like on the first day of the German course, the teacher asked if anyone was non-binary so that she can explain how to deal with pronouns, which was quite nice, but it did mean outing myself in this group of strangers from all over the world, from all kinds of different belief systems and, like, you know, political leanings and that kind of thing. And I didn't know what those political leanings were. So, you know, is that a safe place for me to be disclosing that information? Probably not. I did anyway, because at the time I was just like, I'm just focusing on the German here. If people have, asked me questions, I'll just respond to them in German and make them shut up. But yeah, it's probably not something I would do again, only because I really want to be able to express myself in a language. Any other class, in fact, there was one other class, we got asked to give our pronouns. If we wanted to give our pronouns, and I did not give my pronouns, but I sent the actually non-binary lecturer an email afterwards to let them know my pronouns. Because it's like, well, I'm more interested in you knowing this about me than any of my students. I like me. I mean, I do too. Sorry, I'm reading a comment. I'm pretty good, but I like to treat my transition as the non-event it should be. People transition sometimes. Some people learn the guitar as well. Exactly. You can transition in your skill level at both guitar and gender. I think the more comfortable you are in your gender, you can say that's your skill level of gender. I get an awful lot of, this is such a huge change for you. And no, it's, oh yeah, oh my God, it's a huge change for them. It's like you've been living this thing, and the only thing that's changed is you understand where all this, is coming from. That's another thing I find really difficult to explain to people, and I've also had conversations with cis people, and it's kind of like, okay, this is why I tend to hang around queer people a lot more now, because it's just like, it's so obvious to me. Why isn't it obvious to you? The huge change is dealing with the state about this, but the gender itself is a very simple thing. Trans femme and they, them. I want to do some things with my body. Yeah, and some people do and some people don't. It's completely individual, and that's kind of how gender should be, really, which is what I was saying before about like how we interact with each other as individuals. Gender isn't really necessary to know, because people will just interact, Gender sort of doesn't really factor into the equation unless it's for like safety reasons, in my opinion anyway, or unless someone's like trying to horn in on you, which is just bleh. A lot of people telling me it seemed like a huge change were people I had not brought it up to until I decided to come out. People I trusted before were like, yeah, this makes sense. Yeah, there have been a few people who have sort of I've seen come out, and every single time it's just never seemed like if you know that person, it's like, okay, well this X, Y, and Z makes sense in this context now. Like, yeah, it just adds context, and it helps you to conceptualize, how the person works. I think knowing gender, that's really the only difference. Wouldn't it have been more useful for binary people to know the pronouns than non-binary people? Oh, certainly, but like for me, I don't, like, at least in my personal context, being misgendered is less uncomfortable. And I'm going to talk about this in the video when I finally make a video about being a gender. Being misgendered is less, unintentionally, this is assuming people don't know my gender, right? So being accidentally misgendered is less uncomfortable than my gender being brought up and made a big thing, in a positive way or in a negative way. It doesn't matter. Like my whole thing about gender is that, I mean, it's going to sound silly if I say my whole thing about gender is I don't like talking about it, because I've just spent like the last half hour talking about it, but you know what I mean? Like attention being put on me, and gender and the relationship that I have or don't have with gender, that's really uncomfortable, especially when it's coming from people who I don't know very well and who I don't really care to know very well, like just someone who happens to be sitting with me in a classroom. I don't want their judgment. I don't want their questions. I don't want their doubt. Like it just brings up so much more unknown. Like I trust people less if I've just met them and they end up knowing my gender. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I don't know what your perspective is on these things. And I know that if your perspective is a certain way, you're going to look at me differently once you know this thing about me. And it doesn't mean make me ashamed to talk about it. It just means I don't want to deal with that bullshit. I would rather be, you know, have someone occasionally refer to me in the third person as the wrong gender. Because, you know, how often do people talk about you in the third person compared with people coming up to you to ask you questions about your gender and how it works and how it doesn't work? You know what I mean? Like, you often don't hear people talking about you in the third person. So I'm not present when people are misgendering me most of the time, if that makes sense. And this is just a personal thing. Like, I know people who feel very uncomfortable when they're misgendered, and they will correct people. They won't say, "Oh, how dare you misgender me," like a lot of people expect. But you know, just the usual, just my pronouns are blah blah blah. Just so you know, like a correction, which is also fine. But it's just my own personal relationship, or a relationship without gender, being agender. You know, I hope that makes sense. Oh, the lingering, oh god, I used the wrong word. I'm so sorry. Apology for misgendering is way worse than, yes. There's been so many times when someone who knows my gender has accidentally misgendered me, and then they've, you know, like, they've been in a group of people, including people who don't know my gender or lack of gender. And then when they apologize and make a big deal about it, then all of a sudden attention is on me and all these new people. Like I've just been outed, essentially. You know, like, and we've just had this thing about outing. Like, coming out is a very personal thing. You know, you want coming out to be on your terms. You don't want other people to be outing you. So if someone misgenders me and then apologizes, feeling really guilty, obviously they don't mean to, but they're doing me more harm than if they just, like, misgendered me and been done with it. You know? Stop flagellating and some practicing. Once more from the top. I have stock lines at this point. I remember someone DM'd me about misgendering you by accident ages ago. I just noted it for future reference. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad. Occasionally, I've gotten DMs from people apologizing about misgendering me if they've done so in chat. And, like, I'm not going to say that was horrible and bleh, don't do that. But, yeah, like, just, it's not a big deal. Just, like, you know, once you know, make your adjustments. Even if you forget, I am not going to care. And also, like, there are generally enough people in chat that they would correct you so that I don't have to. So, like, you know, yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. F you. Sorry, okay, we're back. Yeah, sorry, I was in the middle of thanking Eric for DMing people who have accidentally misgendered me. I appreciate that. Like, yeah, because I won't be doing that. It's not something that I do, and it's not because, you know, I'm fine with being misgendered. It's just because, like, it's about comparisons and relativity. It's less uncomfortable for me to be misgendered than for the whole song and dance, you know, and the questions and stuff. Chrome is really, no, it's not even Chrome, it's Germany. We can blame Germany. Okay, so let's just move on for okay, YouTube. We're making videos. So I wanted to look up racist tweets, but I got a really good one from John Louis. So I'm gonna, like, use that as a base and move on. I just want to get most of the papers under control, show other groups and news. So I want decolonial groups. Let me find something. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to one tab. Yeah. Okay. So now that's all gone. We've cleaned that up and I can get back to it later. Wait, where is Twitch gone? Oh dear. Did that go away too? No, it didn't. Oh, good. Popper's going crazy because of the fireworks. Oh. What are the fireworks for? What's going on in Northern Ireland? It's Northern Ireland, right? Oh, thank you so much, The Menace. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I want to do more collaboration, like music things sort of going forward. So I'll definitely be in touch. But also, like, congrats on the whole, discovering yourself thing. I don't know if this has been the case for a long time and you've just sort of like come back or what, but yeah, proud of you. Well done. Yeah, one tab. It turns all your tabs and like just archives them. Like it closes them all, but it saves them so you can like put them up later. They're fantastic. I mean, it is fantastic. Okay, so yes, so I need other decolonial organizations. It's Diwali, of course. But Diwali was Monday, wasn't it? November 5th, Bonfire Night in the UK. Oh, I remember Bonfire Night. Yeah. Okay, so decolonial groups. Decoloniality, Decolonial Transformation Study Group, Decolonial International Network, Decolonisation Group, Decolonial Research Collaborative. Oh, decolonial translation, eh? What's this then? The call for an anti-post-colonialism Congress in France first circulated in late 2004, but was originally published publicly in 2005. How does this work? France continues to be a colonial state. Yes. So why is it decolonial anyway, we'll find out. Decolonial Research Collaborative, Health and Well-Being. Oh, look at all these papers. Oh, they're all by the same person. Decolonial International Network. You know what? I'll just look for these afterwards. I'll do some research later. What's this? Examples of imperialistic apologism. So let's see the part where I talk about this. Are you going to head out as well? Thank you very much, Nug. Thanks for tuning in. I am intrigued that decolonization seems to avoid... are we the only place that did fireworks on Halloween? Yeah, I didn't think that was a thing. Decolonization seems to avoid all the anti-colonialist Russian groups. What's that? Like, as in Russian groups who don't agree with the invasion in like the Ukraine and other places? Or is it like a propaganda, like a pro-Russian sort of thing? We don't do fireworks on Halloween to avoid scaring the skeletons. So, let's listen to this imperial apologism.
Shameful aspects of our nation's history, which is often spun in a way to either make us look good or to minimize the impact of our harmful actions in the past and present against other nations over which we've exerted control.
You know what? I'm really sleepy. So I might actually, museums as authority figures, I might actually do more of this tomorrow or Sunday, and I might do another stream of this because I really do want to get this done by Monday. I want to get it out, I want to get it published, and I want to work on my next video, which, because like I've been procrastinating this video for 2 years because I hate doing 101 videos, you know, like I really genuinely truly feel like social stuff 101 videos are the domain of white people, particularly white men, just because they can, so you know, they're more likely to get people who aren't interested in these issues on side, which is not because they have a special kind of charisma, but because they're white men, you know what I mean? But yeah, I sort of resent that I felt that I had to do this. So that's why I've been procrastinating for like ages. White man's burden, as it were. Yeah, I know, right? I wish people would take their white man's burden more seriously. Jeez. You know? I genuinely feel like it needs to be a burden. You shouldn't be, if you're a cis het white dude or even a cis white dude, you should not be comfortable. not like never, but like you should not be making comfortable content. That's Are we back? Yes, we're back. Yay. Okay, cool. Okay. So, what I'm currently looking at now is I'm just opening a bunch of tabs with relation to slavery. Descendants of slavery doing genealogy research. So I might just like grab. It's annoying because like the date's down there and the author's down there, but this is sort of the important part. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait. Where is it? Where'd you go? Oh, here. I'm going to capture the entire page and save it as a PDF. I'm very clever. Oh, that's a really long article. Okay, I'm going to save that as, where's my media project? Media folder. New genealogy of Okay, I think we're back again, finally. That was quick. Normally, you know, they cut me a break before they disconnect again. I remember one joke line about the history between England and Ireland is that the English never remember and the Irish never forget. Sun never sets on the British Empire, yeah, because God wouldn't trust an Englishman in the dark. Okay, well, I'm gonna grab this one as well. Genealogy research, Washington Post, because people tend to trust the Washington Post and the New York Times, don't they? That's sort of like the two biggies, both American, so, you know. Genealogy of slavery, Washington Post. Reparations for slavery. Sorry, that snapshot is plugin. Georgetown Slavery Archive. Researching American ancestors. Ancestry support. How many of these things do I need? Probably a few. What do I say?
There are many people who find some empowerment in researching their family roots in order to find out what culture and languages they should even be celebrating.
Let's see, what's this? Papers and presentations. So those are my papers and presentations. And that's pretty much it. So I think I might call it a night there. And just... Yeah, tomorrow or the next time that I work on this, I will try and do the animatics and also the finish off putting in those papers and things. Posted a thing in Culture about Halloween if you're interested. I am interested. Yes, indeed. Didn't Halloween come from Ireland originally? That might be why you have fireworks there, because your traditions are actually... you know, based in something. surprised. All right, so I'm going to call it quits there. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining me. I'm too tired to read anyone. Just one of those long days. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me and helping me with this research. I really appreciate it. Like, it's really, you have no idea how good it is for my motivation just to have people around to like chat with while I'm, you know, doing all this nonsense. Even though we got distracted many times, at least I'm having more fun doing it. Alrighty, catch you later. Ciao ciao.